Real ones. Let's talk some real shit. Yeah, I know how to do it. Let's talk some real shit. Before I get into it, make sure y'all go down there and do that. Go ahead and hit that button if you haven't already. You feel me? If you have, I appreciate you. Real talk. But we gotta talk some real shit. All right. Uh Coach Prime still got the HBCU world buzzing with the idea of Jackson State being able to move up into a bigger conference. You feel me? Um, this conversation kind of got sparked. Probably been going on behind closed doors, but it kind of got sparked in public by Coach Reed at 24/7 Sports. You know what I'm saying? We did a segment on that previously. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go do so. If you have, appreciate you. But Coach Reed, for those that missed that, basically was saying to Coach Prime, you ain't got to go nowhere. You can stay at Jack State. Just go ahead and move to the Big Ten. Call on some of these mega uber rich people like Bezos and Musk and so forth and so on. Get them to drop the bags necessary for Jack State to, do what it needs to do to go ahead and move into one of those spaces. You feel me? Uh, y'all might not know, but Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was in Jackson recently uh, for his XFL showcase. You know, he owns that. You know what I'm talking about? And that put some eyeballs on us again. And so ESPN was interviewing Coach Prime, and you know, he let it be known that there are discussions being had about Jackson State moving on up into a bigger conference. He didn't say per se the Big Ten, but he did say moving on up, and basically said, "Hey, it's basically about the finances and asking folks, do you want to focus on tradition or this money?" Basically, paraphrasing. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk money. Let's talk money, Power Five, and respect. You feel me? Because since these comments been out, I've been able to really peruse social media and just see how people are feeling about it. You feel me? Uh, and there's a wide variety of opinions on it. It's kind of a polarizing topic. You got some advocating for it, and you know what I'm saying? You got to believe in you, it can happen, all that kind of stuff. And then really looking at it from the on the field standpoint of Jackson State under the leadership of Coach Prime being able to compete from a football standpoint. Then you got others on the other side looking at the financial status of the university and kind of chiming in and weighing in on some of the things that we need to be cautious about. Now, I spoke to someone who is in the know, who knows about all things Jackson State University and all matters that are at hand. Uh, and his opinion was that that would be on way down the line because we got a housing crisis right now. A housing crisis, like for the students we currently have on campus, like we're having trouble housing them. You feel me? And then that shit, we don't get that straight. It's only gonna get worse because enrollment numbers are going up in part because of the success of the football team and all the notoriety that goes there. I keep telling you some kids will go to these schools just because they like the atmosphere surrounding the sports programs. That ain't just Jack State shit. That's that DPWI as well. I saw another comment from y'all boy, Roland Martin, and he said this about it. Okay, and I'm reading directly from his tweet. He said, "Here's a reality: there is not one HBCU that is in position to compete with a Power Five school. Let me be real clear. Competing doesn't mean on the field or court. It's a facilities arms race. Folks seem to forget how many major universities run a deficit." He says, look at UCLA. UCLA just chose to leave the Pac 12 for the Big Ten. Why? Money. The athletic department has a nearly $63 million athletic department deficit and a 3-year deficit of $102.8 million. He goes on to say, facts are facts. HBCUs simply do not have the alumni base to sustain a Power 5 athletic department. These are just cold, hard facts. I don't think people realize the facilities arms race and how much it costs. Okay. Now, when you read those comments or when you hear those comments from Roland Martin, it may seem disheartening. It may seem like he is knocking Jackson State or he is knocking HBCUs and saying we're just not good enough and we just ain't got it. And y'all know from if you're a real one for real, y'all already know I've had issue with some things said by Roland Martin in the past, particularly about us entertainers. You know what I'm saying? He kind of pissed me off when he tried to group all of us in that basket with motherfuckers like Lil Wayne. You know, Lil Wayne took the picture with Trump and came out advocating for Trump in his small way for whatever that was Trump trying to sell a platinum plan when he was trying to make suburban white folk think he wasn't racist so he can get their vote in the 2020 election. You know, Wayne did that so he can get pardoned by Trump. So Roland Martin came for Lil Wayne and really all of us entertainers and saying we ain't built like that. We can't be leaders. I had a problem with that. He ain't met first letter. You feel me? But when it comes to what he's saying here, let me add some context to it, y'all. Okay, so you won't just think that he was just being down on HBCUs and down on Jack State in particular. You feel me? This shit real, y'all. I keep talking about this goddamn racial wealth gap and how the disparity is so much greater than we even really think about. Like, I used to do this exercise with my students every year when I was a teacher. The first chapter I used to teach was about the industrial age. You feel me? Late 1800s. And when we got to a part, we would talk about all these big wealthy motherfuckers like John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie, you know, so forth. So J.P. Morgan. I would show my kids a list of the richest motherfuckers in America at the time, whatever year it was. And before I would show them the list, though, I would always tell them, all right, y'all. Oh, I would ask them, like, who the first black person you think you're going to see on the list? Or how far down on the list you think they're going to be and all that kind of stuff. And it never failed. They would be hollering out their favorite rappers and shit like that. They'd be hollering out like Michael Jordan or LeBron. They'd be hollering out Oprah. And it never failed. Every year, they were amazed that all these people weren't even in the top 100 richest people in this country. 100. You feel me? So like even at the top of this shit, there's a huge disparity. You feel me? So like right now, as I speak, or at least based on Forbes list from 2021, all right, they're gonna drop another list at the end of the year. The 2021 list they put out had Robert F. Smith as the richest black person at $6.7 billion, but he was 141 on the list. 141. We had David Stewart with $5.8 billion at 182. Okay. Now we'll see how this changes when they drop the new list, but even at the top, bro, like these dudes, yeah, compared to your average black person, compared to your average person, period, they stupid caked up. But even at the top, like Musk and Bezos and all those motherfuckers, goddamn it, they walk over their money, they be like, what the fuck happened? So I used to show that to my students, and then it show them the whole list so they can try to get an idea of the disparity as a reality check. Let them know a lot of these motherfuckers that they be seeing online on Instagram doing all this stuff, they capping. But also, hey, let's study the game now. Let's see these motherfuckers who are on there, white or black, or hey, whatever. Let's see how they got this money so we can try to goddamn figure this shit out and study their moves and try to overcome all the bullshit we got to overcome and get this money too. Because we got to overcome a lot of bullshit, y'all. Because the wealth gap is vast. I highly recommend you watch The Racial Wealth Gap. You can check it out on YouTube. I got the link to that motherfucker down in the description. I want to say the video ain't more than 20 minutes long, somewhere around there. All right. But if you don't, let's look at some things. And this goes to what Roland Martin is talking about. This type of shit goes to what some of these boosters that are in the know when it comes to the finances of the institution talking about. Okay. About, hold on, y'all. We got to get some shit in order first. Okay. So I'm going to show y'all some shit to show y'all how, as a people, we behind and how that shit trickles down, of course, into all our shit, whether it be K-12 or our institutions of higher learning. So take a look at this. All right. So this is the 2016 wealth gap disparity. And you see, on average, a white family, when you take their savings plus the assets minus the debts, worth $171,000, as compared to a black family being worth $17,600. Now, I apologize if you can't see that, but that says $17,600. So this shit is real, and like it's infuriating because you think, God damn, our people at one time in this fucking country we were viewed as wealth. The documentary talks about how by 1863, our people were worth $3 billion. And then they adjusted that number for inflation. And shit, that shit came to $83 billion in 2018 money. It talks about how, goddamn it, we almost had a chance after being enslaved to start out on the right foot with the 40 acres and a mule concept. But shit, when Abraham Lincoln got killed and his bullshit ass, racist ass, well, hey, Lincoln was a racist too. Let me not minimize that. But his even more vehemently racist, like just one of the worst presidents in the history of this fucking country. Andrew Johnson came to power. Oh, he reversed that shit. He said, fuck that. He said, fuck that. So we didn't get land. And so what's so fucked up about this, so much of wealth in this country is tied to land and fucking housing, which again is ironic because I just said we got a housing crisis at Jack State University. But when it comes to housing, bro, we've had to deal with just blatant discrimination. We got left out of New Deal policies that were put in place by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, like the FHA. Shit, they did some shit that was called like redlining, where basically they had these maps and where high concentration of black people were living, they were like red line. They would literally mark those parts of the map, letting it be known that these were bad areas in their opinion. And so housing prices be fucked up in those areas. Like you stay away from those areas. You feel me? Um, Shit. Even after the 1968 Fair Housing Act was passed, you still had discrimination up there. Former presidential candidate Cory Booker talks about how his mama and daddy uh, were being discriminated against when they were trying to buy a home. So much so that when they tried to buy, motherfuckers told them, came up with some bullshit reason not to sell it to them. But then they sent a white family to buy the house for them. Hey, they shit, everything was Gucci then. That's kind of shit we've dealt with. You know what I'm saying? But then they showed back up on the closing date and shit, they were able to get the house, and that tremendously helped them grow wealth. And again, that might turn out to be a goddamn U.S. senator and a presidential candidate. We've seen the shit still in modern times. You felt it. You watching this shit. You have felt it directly. No matter how old you are, I'm talking about from a triple OGs all the way goddamn down to the youngins. You feel me? You felt it from that Great Recession that we called it. That shit that jumped off in 2008. Everybody was losing their goddamn job. Or if you wasn't losing your job, you losing your hours and shit like that. You felt it. Because one of the biggest things that caused that shit was the subprime mortgage crisis. A subprime mortgage is a mortgage it's cheap at first, but over time that motherfucker increases, especially if you don't have good credit. Okay, so it's not like a fixed. When you get a mortgage, shit, you want to have a fixed rate on your interest rate. You feel me? You want that bitch to be fixed. It is what it is. You feel me? But these subprime mortgages weren't like that. And they were targeting us with that bullshit. You got court cases showing they were fucking targeting us with that bullshit. In the court case, it came out that they were targeting black churches. They were calling these motherfucking subprime loans ghetto loans. They even used the word having a bounty on African Americans. And they got away with this shit. They got away with it. None of these motherfuckers got prosecuted. They wrote some checks and paid off some people. None of these motherfuckers got prosecuted. They got away with that shit. Bruh, housing. This shit affects all this shit. You might be saying, bro, this is sports, so I ain't watching this shit. Motherfucker, I'm trying to tell you, this affects that. Because look at all the shit that's tied to housing. Where your kids go to school is tied to where the fuck they live. The property taxes that fund in schools locally is directly tied to housing. If your neighborhood's fucked up, your school gonna be fucked up because the property tax is not gonna be enough to generate enough revenue to really goddamn do what you need to do at the schoolhouse. So if K-12 is fucked up with black people, what the fuck is the HBCU gonna be? Come on, man. This is all tied together, man. So when you see this shit happening, and then you see, goddamn, we got this dynamic celebrity football coach, and he bringing in them dogs, studs, goddamn, we've really taken off. We really can do some things. You see one part of university doing this, but the other part still lagging behind. So we got a housing crisis. My sister works at Jackson. She's a fucking professor. I can tell you some shit. We got some problems. You feel me? But it's not like, oh, We're just less than. We just got them it. We came in this bitch down 20, dog. Came into the game down 20, dog. Down 20. The damn documentary mentions a study that was done by the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. The study showed that for Black college graduates, their wealth decreased compared to white college graduates. Decreased. The Black college grads' wealth decreased. Now, why is that? They point out more family responsibility. Pointed out that quite often, a Black college grad is the most successful person in their family, in their network, in their circle. So then they become a rock, financially speaking, at least, in their family. So others come to them for aid and should they help. And they make a good point, not to say that white people don't help each other. Of course they do. But it's saying, hey, when you got one motherfucker right here versus you got numerous motherfuckers over here who can help, it's still more of a burden on that one person. How does that affect what we talking about with Jackson State? Well, because I see so many folks rightfully saying that we need to donate more and you need to do this, contribute more. Have you paid your alumni dues? Have you done this? Have you done that? Right. But again, you got that one motherfucker over here who already is helping out grandmama, might be helping out a sister or brother, a niece or a nephew. You fucking name it. That person might also, because of being a graduate, probably a pillar in their community. So they got to help out at K-12. They got to help out at the church. They already get shit. They money getting sliced like a motherfucker anyway. Compared to over here, well, it's so many of them that already got it. That yeah, it's easy to just write that check. Yeah, it's easy to just goddamn donate. Shit ain't nothing. You don't feel it. You don't feel it. Shit. They even showed this. See, this chart shows the rates of college graduation. And again, most people, black or white, don't graduate from college. Okay. So 34% of white at the time that this was put out, 20% of black people. It said one study showed that if you made that equal, let's say you made it that 34% of black people also graduate from college. It showed that would only minimally decrease the racial wealth gap. It would only decrease it by $1,313 damn dollars. So what the fuck is at play here? What is at play here, y'all? You telling me, God damn, I did what my mama told me to do. I went to college, did everything, and still these motherfuckers telling me I'm behind. Well, look, this is why. This is the real shit that Roland Martin talking about, and you can't goddamn get into it with the limited characters on Twitter or whatever like that. But it's a reason. It's a reason why our facilities are behind in this arms race. Okay? And it goes all the way back to the fact that from 1619 to 1865, our people, for the most part, 90% of in this country, enslaved. Then after that, you got another 100 years of fucking legal discrimination. What is shit codified in many states. And then even after that, you got continued discrimination. But let's tie this motherfucking shit back to football. If you look right there and you see that 1968 until, let's go ahead and say today. Okay, this is 2018. You say to 2022. In the world of sports, let's talk football. What goddamn happened? You start to see some PWIs open up to the black athlete more and more. So when we finally get a semblance of freedom in this motherfucker, one of the things that ends up happening is the money makers from our community end up stop going to the HBCUs. Now, you might say, well, hell, we fought for that, didn't we? We fought Brown v. Board of Education, fought for integration. NAACP was all down with that. You know what I'm talking about? Dr. King pushing it right. They were down for the choice. They wanted us to have the choice. You feel me? Go read James Meredith's 3 Years in Mississippi. Excellent book. That shit did something to me. Because, of course, I knew his story. That shit I had to teach about him. But the depth of his struggle, that is just incredible. But there's one thing that really struck me, and it talks about why he wanted to integrate Ole Miss. Why? It has shit to do with thinking nothing was wrong with Jackson State University, where he also attended. He wanted to, as he put it, break the system of white supremacy. He didn't want no motherfucker telling him what he can't do. As an American, he felt like shit. He should be able to have that choice. Now we are we're saying that the stud black athletes need to consider HBCUs. We need, this is a new day now. Since the late 60s, early 70s, and up until this time, motherfuckers been thinking, I got to go there to make it. That's gonna make me into an NFL player. That's gonna make me into an NBA player. No, bro. It ain't got to be that way. And why is it so important? I'm telling you, because with this racial wealth gap, it's gonna take, as the documentary said, okay, and I want to quote this directly. This shit said, the wealth gap has grown so large over so many years, it would take something truly radical to close it. Again, let's look at this chart now. Okay. That's going all the way back from the 60s till today. Wealth gap still there. God damn it, that motherfucker increased. So civil rights era to today, you would think it's closed. Look at all these achievements. We've had a black president. We have a black vice president who went to an HBCU. We got Benny G. Thompson in Congress. The racial wealth gap has increased. So again, it said the wealth gap has grown so large over so many years, it would take something truly radical to close it. Something radical. Something radical. Take something radical, y'all, to deal with this shit. That the median household income for us less than 40,000. For white people, about 60,000. Take something radical to deal with the fact that shit, no matter what the situation, our unemployment rate usually higher. The phrase goes, the last to get hired, first to get fired. Take something truly radical to deal with the home ownership disparity. Take something truly radical to deal with the shit I was telling y'all about, these subprime mortgages being aimed at us, which just modern forms of discrimination. You see, we were twice as likely to get one of them damn loans. And we were also more likely to get the damn loan if we had good credit. 1 out of 5 of us with good credit we're still ending up with that bullshit. It takes something truly radical to deal with that. The effects of the Great Recession wiped out 53% of black wealth compared to only 16% of white wealth. Take something truly radical to deal with this shit. Take something truly radical to deal with a $220 billion annual wage gap between us. It takes something truly radical to deal with $1.6 trillion of a revenue gap between black-owned businesses and white-owned businesses. Take something truly fucking radical to deal with the fact that 19% of us got a negative net worth compared to 8% of white families. It takes something truly radical to change the fact that nearly half of us, are working in low-paying service roles. And it takes something truly radical for us to solve not only the housing crisis at Jackson State University or any of the HBCUs, but goddamn it, solve the housing crisis in Black America, period. Because we see by this study, 62% of household wealth coming from your fucking home. So what are the radical moves? Well, one would be for Congress to up those motherfucking reparations. That would be one. Pay us what the fuck we're owed, because the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow still affects us today. But y'all see, the thought that Obama might have done something made these motherfuckers form the Tea Party and go crazy. So these motherfuckers want to try to give us reparations now. That Civil War might go ahead and pop off. Who knows? What's something else radical that can happen? You can have a all-time great celebrity motherfucker who are already rich to dedicate themselves to the community like Prime is doing. Just gave away a pledge to give away half his salary to help the facilities. That's radical. Shouldn't seem radical when you just come to your people, but we just don't be seeing that shit. It'll be radical to see those of us who've gotten the bag learn how to keep the bag. Learn how to keep it. Because another documentary y'all should watch is called Broke. And you'll see how so many of us who make it to these leagues go broke within years of leaving the league. We see that. I was watching some Mike Tyson say he earned $450 million in his boxing career and goddamn lost it all. Now he bouncing back now, because now they view him as lovable and he be high all the time now. So since the goddamn whatever that comedy he was in, folks just love him and he got his weed business rolling and shit like that. But 450 million, that motherfucker came from nothing and earned 450 million, but blew it. And we see shit like that. But wouldn't it be radical for these motherfuckers to learn how to keep their money? So that shit can start funneling through our communities. That would be radical. It would be radical for us to really teach financial literacy to our kids starting early. Teach our kids about financial independence so we won't have to depend on another motherfucker. You feel me? So we won't have to goddamn go to no Bezos and no motherfucking Musk. Because they don't look like they are the giving type to me. Now, Bill Gates, he just said the other day he want to give away most of his money. Shit. But that would be radical. Maybe we can get Bill to goddamn blow big bags on the whole swac shit. He got it. It would be radical if we stop bullshit bickering about shit that doesn't matter. Keep our bickering amongst one another just to playful banter, normal shit talk, I'm talking about the game, rather than trolling each other and shitting on each other about stuff that don't matter, while the rest of the folks on that list continue to look at us, profit off of us, laugh at us, and keep throwing all them big ass bags to Texas A&M, to Alabama, to Oregon, to Oklahoma State. They come to mind because I'm thinking about T-Boone Pickens from back in the gap. Ole Miss State here locally. You feel me? Like it's gonna take a collective effort because the damn shit, the task we're facing, the challenge we're facing is so daunting. So it's gonna take something radical, y'all. It's gonna take something radical. I think we can do it. Am I naive to believe in us, y'all? I don't think I'm naive to believe in this. I think I'm right to believe in this. Because shit, I look at other races, goddamn it, I say, if they did it, hell, why can't we? God damn it, if they did it, why can't we? But it's going to take something radical. So be radical. Be aggressive. Be focused on what you're doing. No matter what school you support, be radical. Be focused on what you're doing. Make sure you take care of your money individually. Make sure you're teaching your kids to value education, to value the black dollar. So we can solve these motherfucking problems. Because on that field, I ain't worried about that. We've seen that. We see on the K-12 level in high school, you see how a school from the gutter, from rural poverty or from the fucking trap can go whoop a school that's affluent. We see that all the time. We see that all the time. When you get it, when your ass get out there on that field, it's about who got the players. It ain't about mama, daddy net worth at that point. It ain't about endowments at that point. Get on that field, it's about goddamn who got them dogs. So we can do that. But it's about all that other shit. All that other shit that comes with these big moves and shit like that. We got work to do. We got work to do. I ain't afraid of putting in no work. And real ones, I know that you aren't either. Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit statementteesllc.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.